whose vision and persistence have carried this project from the very early planning stages dating back to 2019 and before to this historic groundbreaking ceremony. Transformative projects like this do not happen overnight. They require disciplined planning, fiscal stewardship, and sustained collaboration. From initial planning meetings and budget negotiations to procurement, architectural development, and contractor selection, this project has remained a top priority for us because the work of justice demands a facility worthy of its mission. I want to thank the members of the DGS Office of State Procurement for managing this procurement, which is very complicated and very nuanced. Jamie Tomaszewski, Jason Valentes, and Natasha Rumsunder. I also want to thank our DGS Office of Design, Construction, and Energy that will be navigating this project. In particular, our Assistant Secretary, Courtney League, and Barry Miller, John Brush, Dale Swinburne, and Clarence Felder, who have been managing this project and will manage this project going forward. They're the ones that are going to lose sleep over this project when things go wrong, and there's always something that goes wrong in construction, right? So I also want to thank Judiciary, our partners that have collaborated with this to really make this vision a reality. And to our design partners, Fentra Studios, and to our construction partner, Coakley Williams Construction, thank you for helping us envision what is possible and for committing your expertise to bringing that vision to life. And to our distinguished leaders here today, Governor Moore, Lieutenant Governor Miller, Chief Justice Fader, Chief Judge Wells, Comptroller Learman, Senator Will Smith, here on behalf of President Ferguson, and all the other judges and other elected officials that are here, we want to profoundly thank you, and we're eternally grateful for your support to make this project a reality. We're proud that Marylanders can see themselves reflected in the teams constructing this generational building. Construction shapes the physical landscape of our state. The economic benefits of that development should also reflect the diversity of the communities being served. For this construction project, we have set some very ambitious socioeconomic goals. 40% minority business participation goals, and a 10% veteran-owned participation goal. I'm proud to stand here before you today and say we have met both of those goals on this project. This project will have a 40.27% minority business participation, equating to over $59 million in subcontracting value. In addition, this project will have 10.07% veteran-owned business participation, equating to nearly $15 million in subcontracting value. In total, approximately $74 million of this project alone is being awarded to minority and veteran-owned businesses. That is not just compliance, that is commitment. Commitment to equity, commitment to opportunity, and commitment to ensuring the economic benefits of public investment reflect the diversity and talent of our great state. I know the vacant lot before us here today doesn't look like much, but let me paint a picture for you. In just 3 short years, a 6-story, 217,000 square foot complex will be built right here. It will be designed as an all-electric facility with zero reliance on fossil fuels, a commitment to sustainability, efficiency, and long-term resilience, and will also achieve LEED Silver certification. Visitors will be greeted by a grand 5-story entryway and atrium and pass beneath preserved architectural elements from the historic 1903 Supreme Court building, features that connect our legal heritage to our future. This integration of historic preservation with modern design is intentional. It reflects continuity, the enduring nature of justice, even as the institutions that house it evolve over time. Inside the building will include a historic Supreme Court courtroom, as well as 3 courtrooms for the Appellate Court of Maryland. Courthouses are the pillars of democracy. They are places where constitutional principles are tested, where disputes are resolved peacefully, and where the rule of law governs over the rule of force. For that system to function, safety and security are paramount. We have worked very closely with the Judiciary to integrate advanced safety features that protect judges, staff, attorneys, jurors, and members of the public, ensuring that justice can be administered without fear. This facility is designed not only for today's needs, but for tomorrow's demands. It is adaptable. It is resilient. It is built to endure structurally, technologically, and architecturally for generations to come. In the months ahead, this site will transform. Steel will rise. Concrete will be poured. Skilled tradespeople, engineers, architects, and project managers will bring their expertise and pride to every phase of construction. When complete, this building will stand as a civic landmark, reflecting stability, transparency, and stability. It will embody our belief that justice should be accessible, it should be efficient, and it should be worthy of the public's trust. Today we will turn soil. Tomorrow we build. And in the years to come, Marylanders will see this structure as a reflection of our shared commitment to the rule of law and also to one another. Thank you very much, and it is now my true honor to introduce Chief Judge of the Appellate Court of Maryland, Gregory Wells.
Thank you very much, Mr. Secretary, Governor Moore, Vice Governor Miller, Madam Learman, Senator Miller, and Chief Justice Fader. Distinguished colleagues from both courts, the dedicated team of the Department of General Services, and the men and women of Coakley-Williams, welcome and thank you for being here today. There's something truly grounding, if you'll forgive that illusion, about a gathering like this. The members of my court largely spend their days in the realm of the abstract. Words on a page, arguments in the air, and principles that have no physical form. And yet here we are, about to take shovels in our hands, and I find that very satisfying. The Appellate Court of Maryland is still a young institution. It's only 60 years old this year. We were created in 1966 to serve the law and the people of the state. We work every day to ensure that every litigant, every family, every business, every individual whose rights turn on the outcome of an appeal gets the careful, deliberate attention that their case requires. We've been doing that with dedication and with pride, but we've been doing it, I will say, candidly, in spaces that could be better designed and better secured for the 21st century. A court is not merely a bureaucratic function, it is a physical expression of a promise, namely one that this court makes to every person who comes before it seeking justice. Indeed, the architecture of justice matters. The dignity of the space matters. When a citizen walks through the doors of a courthouse, they should feel that this is a serious place, that their case will be taken seriously, and that the rule of law is something that this community has invested in and believes in. That is why we are building here today. Not just a building, but a promise made real. I would like to express my gratitude to the Department of General Services. You are the unsung heroes and architects of state government. You navigate the complexity of public construction so that the rest of us can focus on our missions. This project moved from vision to shovel because of your persistence, your professionalism, and your patience. And I suspect the patience of judges whose opinions about everything from carpet design to the interior of the courthouse you have had to bear. So thank you for your work. To Coakley-Williams and Fentress Designs, you carry a proud reputation in this state, and we are honored to have you as our designers and builders. We're entrusting you with something that will outlast all of us in this field today. We only ask that you build it in the way we can to decide cases, with care, precision, and with an eye toward those who will depend on it long after we are gone. To my colleagues on the appellate court and to Chief Justice Fader and to the members of the Supreme Court of Maryland, we share a commitment to the people of this state. I look forward to the day when our courts have a home that reflects the quality of the work done within it. And certainly, last but not least, to Governor Moore. Thank you for your support of an independent judiciary. That support is not taken for granted. The appellate courts make it a point to ask little of our political branches except this: the resources to do our job with integrity and without compromise. Today is evidence that Governor Moore's administration understands what's at stake when justice has the tools it needs. Thank you, Governor. The ground we break today, one day will house judges who are still in grade school. They will decide issues that we cannot yet imagine. That is the enduring nature of institutions. We build for the future because we believe in it. So let's get to it. Thank you very much. It's now my pleasure. It is now my pleasure to introduce the last Chief Judge of the Court of Appeals and the first Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of Maryland, my friend and colleague, Matt Fader.
Thank you, Chief Judge Wells. This is a day that has been decades in the making. The Supreme Court of Maryland has a long and mostly proud history, with origins dating back to colonial days. In its current incarnation, it dates back to 1776. This is our 250th anniversary as well. In that time, this court has had only 3 homes. From 1778, when they finally found judges willing to take the salary and could start sitting, until 1903, it sat on the 2nd floor of the State House, in quarters now occupied by the governor's staff. Back then, all 3 branches were under the same roof. In 1903, with the growth of government, the court moved to a separate courthouse adjacent to the State House by what is currently Lawyers Mall. The outside of that courthouse was adorned by those 8 columns you see right there in the distance. It was also built with the courtroom that is now currently in our courthouse. It was moved piece by piece to the court's current home, along with the court, in 1972. That 1972 courthouse no longer serves the needs of the 2 courts that it houses. The mission of the Maryland Judiciary is to provide fair, effective, and efficient justice to all. We do that through an uncompromising adherence to the rule of law and to a commitment to that aspiration carved into the edifice of the United States Supreme Court: equal justice under law. And we know that those are not just judiciary values. Those are Maryland values. The courthouse that will occupy the ground behind me in 3 years will be a testament to those Maryland values. It will reflect our state's commitment to justice, to the rule of law, to equal justice under law, and to the judiciary's critical role as a co-equal branch of government. Thurgood Marshall said that we must never forget that the only real source of power that we as judges can tap is the respect of the people. It is, of course, true that respect does not come from buildings. Respect comes from the hard work that judges and judiciary staff across this state do every day to afford dignity and respect to every person who enters our courthouses, to break down barriers to access to justice, to provide excellent customer service to those who come before us on their worst days and in their times of greatest need, and to do our level best to get the right answer under the law in every case. But a courthouse is not unrelated to respect. A courthouse should reflect the gravity of what goes on inside it. It should be designed to make it easier to provide excellent customer service and to break down barriers to access to justice. And its outward appearance necessarily serves as evidence of how much the state values what goes on inside it. By those measures, this courthouse will speak volumes. It will replace a dilapidated and obsolete building with one that has been purposely and painstakingly designed to serve the needs of our judiciary, and even more important, the people we serve. It will honor our history through a new legal history museum and a new home for the state's amazing Thurgood Marshall State Law Library. It will combine updated technology interwoven with ties to our past, including that 1903 courtroom that will be reinstalled in this building, and those columns from the 1903 courthouse, which will be woven into the courtrooms for the Appellate Court of Maryland. I can't possibly thank everyone who's been involved in this project, but I do want to mention a few. First, thank you to former Chief Judge Mary Ellen Barbera and former State Court Administrator Pam Harris for your painstaking efforts to get planning for this project funded and to advance it to the point where it could take off. We would not be here without your efforts. Thanks as well to my immediate predecessor, Chief Judge Joe Getty, and current State Court Administrator Judy Roop, and everyone on the Judiciary team for picking up where Chief Judge Barbera and State Court Administrator Harris left off. Your efforts have been amazing. Thank you to the Department of General Services, led by Secretary Atif Chaudhry. Thank you for carrying us through the design and procurement stages and making sure that this project, while suffering from some delays and road bumps, continued to move forward to get to this day. Special thanks to the design team, led by Barry Miller and John Brush, for understanding the significance of this project and making sure that it will be the truly special building that it will be. Thank you to the design team at Fentress, represented here by Steve White and Laura Graffel, for your dedication to understanding our needs and making sure the building would meet them. And of course, thank you to our new friends at Coakley Williams for joining us in this exciting effort. Thank you to the General Assembly for its support in funding this project, to the Board of Public Works, with Governor Moore and Comptroller Learman for approving the contract, which balances fiscal responsibility with meeting the needs of a 21st century judiciary. And to Governor Moore, thank you for your strong support of this project and your broader dedication to an independent judiciary and making sure that it is as strong as it needs to be and as the people of this state deserve it to be. And I am now proud to turn the microphone over to my partner in chairing the statewide steering committee on behavioral health in the justice system, our Lieutenant Governor, Aruna Miller.
Thank you so much for the warm introduction, Chief Justice Fader. You know, every time I see him, there's a part of me that always smiles because the Chief Justice swore the governor and me in on Inauguration Day. And as you can imagine, I was really nervous. And so the Chief Justice calmly instructed me to place my left hand on the holy book. And instead, I placed my right hand. To which he leaned in gently and said, "Your other left hand, please." Thank you, Chief Justice, for your steady hand on that day and every day. Welcome to everyone. Welcome to Governor Moore, Chief Judge Wells, Comptroller Learman, Chairman Will Smith, Coakley Williams Construction, Fentress Studios, and all of our distinguished guests that are here today. What an exciting day to be here with all of you to mark this important milestone, the groundbreaking of the Maryland Supreme Court. Today's groundbreaking is a generational investment, not just in a building, but in the justice of our Supreme Court and the judges of our appellate court and all the public servants who uphold the rule of law, and most importantly, in the Marylanders whose rights and futures are shaped by the decisions that will be made between these walls. So let me first thank Secretary Chaudhry and the entire DGS team. Governor, let me just say, DGS, they're on a roll. Last November, I attended the ribbon cutting for the Mabel House Hubbard District Court. Right? Yes, yes. Chief Judge Moore, see, you remember that, right? And apparently there was a lot that went into the naming of that building. He gave us a whole history, and kudos to all of you to naming it after the first black woman in Maryland history to be appointed to any bench. So that is how lasting foundations are made, by remembering who laid the first stones. As an engineer, I learned early on that the most important part of any structure is the part you rarely see: the footing, the rebar, the depth of the pour. Yet, it's the hidden foundation that carries the full weight of everything that rises above it. Just as a building depends on its foundation to bear its load, A democracy depends on justice to carry its promise. You may not always see it. You may not think about it every day, but it's working for you all the same. And it must be anchored deep, reinforced with integrity, and built to withstand a whole lot of pressure. Because without it, nothing above can stand. Most Marylanders never walk through the doors of the Maryland Supreme Court, but every Marylander lives under the protection of the decisions that are made there. So today, we're not just simply preparing for a new home for our highest court. We're reinforcing the foundation for justice in Maryland, and we're making it clear that in Maryland, the rule of law stands firmly. It is now my great honor to introduce my partner in this work, a leader committed to building a Maryland that is more just, more equitable, and more secure for all. Ladies and gentlemen, Governor Wes Moore.
Good morning, everybody. First, to our amazing Lieutenant Governor, thank you so much, not just for the remarkable introduction, but also just for the spectacular work that you continue to do on behalf of everybody within the state. Secretary Chaudhry, to you and the entire DGS team, listen, we have very high expectations, and you continue to jump over them with leaps and bounds. We are so grateful for your commitment and for your vision. We would not be here had it not been for you and for your team, and we're grateful. Also to Chief Justice Fader and Chief Judge Wells, thank you so much. We as a state, we benefit not just from your legal genius, but we truly benefit also from your humanity. And the only thing I will say is that, I do have to cast question on all of our judgment for not wearing a coat this morning. But it is wonderful to be with you, and I will speak fast. But I am excited about today because it's not just about what we're building. It's about who we're building it for. It's about the work and the vision. And again, I want to also give thanks to our Comptroller, Brooke Learman, and our members of the Board of Public Works, Chair Smith. Wonderful to be with you, and thank you for the work and leadership of the General Assembly. Because it's important that everybody who will benefit from this understands how many hands had to go into it, right? When we're talking about who we're doing it for, it's for the clerk who's going to get up before the sun comes up, who's going to be tracking filings, who's going to be managing deadlines, who's going to be answering questions. It's for the attorney who's going to read every single brief 2 and 3 times, and who's going to follow the law no matter where the law leads it, and making sure that the law is what is always going to be the North Star. It's for members of our law enforcement who are going to protect our people, make sure that our people are safe, and making sure that their colleagues are going to get home to their families that night as well. It's for the judges who will sit on the bench and carry a weight that truthfully few of us in society will ever have to feel. The role that each and every one of you who will benefit and be in this building, the role that you play to our society is indispensable. And so it's incredibly important to make sure that we have a building that reflects the kind of professionalism and the kind of integrity for the work that's going on inside of the building. But the weight that our judicial members are feeling, it is a weight of being stewards of a judicial system that oftentimes feels stretched and under attack. It's the weight of making sure that we are going to uphold the rule of law, no matter its challenges. It's a way to ensure fairness and integrity and independence, and not just when it's easy, or not just when it's popular, but in every single case. Because that was the intention of the Founding Fathers. That is the hope of every single Marylander now. The Marylanders who will work in this building, they are public servants. in every beautiful definition of the word. And I hope the plane that you all can hear, if you can't hear me, just know that I'm speaking very well about our public servants who are going to work in this building. But it is a remarkable service that deserves not just our appreciation, but frankly also deserves to live in a place that can honor the work that they're doing. A place where they know that has to respect the ambitions that we all hope for. And when it's done, this will house not just the Maryland Supreme Court and also our appellate court, but it's also going to be the place where some of our state's most remarkable public servants get a chance to call their second home. A new law library, a Maryland Legal History Museum that will preserve the defining architectural elements of the 1903 building and be able to preserve that rule of law that we all will always stand by. And so this is a generational investment. It's a generational investment in our public servants to uphold the rule of law faithfully and quietly, and oftentimes without fanfare. But it's also a generational investment in the institutions that were passed down to us. And our responsibility, just like the recipients of any heirloom, is to make sure we are protecting it and caring for it, making sure that we are strengthening it, not stifling it, to protect the rule of law and not politicize it, to ensure that future generations will inherit something even more beautiful than what we inherited. The same reason you invest in the school is because you want the people who are educated there and work there to know how valued they are. That's exactly how we feel about this building and why it's so important. And so we're grateful for today. We're going to be even more grateful in 3 years from now when it's up. But also, we're thankful to everybody who will be working here because you truly make our state better. So God bless you. Thank you so much, and we're excited to get to work.